So I just realized that I did a pretty long video to follow up on the short that I just did, and I was ready to upload it, and then I realized if you're into YouTube and uploading, there are different formats for shorts or your longer videos. And because it's a longer video, I had the phone turned straight up for a short, and so trying to upload it as a regular video kind of it gives you this little sliver of the video. It doesn't give you the whole thing, like doing a landscape like I'm doing now. So I'm gonna do this again. It was like 12 minutes of wasted time, but hey, what can you do? So skål, everybody. I'm from Norway originally, and skål means cheers in Norwegian. They use it in Sweden too. I'm not sure about Denmark, but possibly in Denmark too. I moved from Norway when I was a kid. My parents joined a church that there just weren't a lot of members of that church in Norway. So we moved to this little tiny town in Canada. If you've ever seen the movie Stand By Me with the late River Phoenix and Will Wheaton, that's kind of my childhood. I grew up in this little town of, I don't know, about 5,000 people in the prairies of Alberta, not far from the Canadian Rockies though. Like you could get to the Rocky Mountains in about an hour, hour and a half. Wasn't very far away. And it was a fantastic childhood. And I'm gonna actually do some videos on that in the future, because there's so many crazy stories from that little town that I grew up in. And it was just cool. It was awesome. We didn't lock our doors. I mean, literally, I guess it could have been a little town in the USA too. I don't think it'd be that different, but that's not what this video is about. But by the way, if you're interested in some of my past videos, I've done a lot of stuff about Norway. Excuse me, a little bit about Viking history, and just kind of my life story a little bit. If that interests anybody, kind of the reason my parents moved. If you go back and look at some of my videos, the one where I'm sitting by the river in Colorado, which you won't know it's Colorado, but you'll see me sitting by a river in the thumbnail, I believe. And that's the one where I kind of tell my story, my parents' story. So on to the subject. So I did a little short, and this is the video following the short. Well, if you're watching this, you already saw the link, so I don't need to go into that. But there's something going on in our society, in our culture, in the US. I don't know. I'm trying to make sure you can actually see me here, where there's the expectation that everybody in our country should have the same result and the same outcome, and everybody should be equal. Now, I'm all for equal. I'm all for equality. Everybody should have the same opportunity. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what creed or religion or gender. Everybody deserves the same opportunity. Now, I believe that in this country, everybody does have the same opportunity. Everybody does have the chance to go out and succeed. I live my own version of the American dream. Coming from Norway and Canada, both countries I love with all my heart. Norway has my soul forever. There's just something, the connection there is just very strong. But the United States, as far as I'm concerned, is the greatest country in the world. We have freedoms here that you just don't find anywhere else. And I know there are lots of haters. I get it. I see it all the time. I'm not going to go into politics. Maybe some future date I will, but unlikely. It just doesn't lead anywhere good. But I know there's haters. I know there are people that live in this country that hate this country. I have some strong words for those people, but I'm not going to say them here. As far as I'm concerned, so my American dream, I'm on the road 220 days a year, which is kind of rough. I'm gone from my family a lot. When my kids were little, it was rough. I tried to always be there for big events. You know, I was always there for all the holidays, and I tried to be there for the baseball games and the plays. Excuse me. But I did miss things, and that was rough. But Like I said, I'm on the road 200 to 230 days a year. I work 70 to 80 hours a week when I'm on the road. I'm a painting contractor, paint commercial properties all over the country. I'm in Texas right now. But it's been a good life. I work my ass off for it because as far as I'm concerned, if you want something, you go after it. You go chase it. And I've done that, and there's probably easier ways to make a living, but it's been a good life, and I got no complaints. I have 4 kids. Thought I got all the paint off my fingers, but apparently I didn't. They are 23, 26, 29, and 33. 2 boys, 2 girls. My oldest daughter is from my first marriage, and my oldest son is from my wife's first marriage. I adopted him when he was 3, so about 26 years ago. My wife and I have been married for 28 years. Good Lord. And it's awesome. She's awesome. My kids are all amazing. I love them with all my heart. I would take a bullet for any one of them. Take a bullet for my wife. But they're very different people. They grew up in the same household. They had the same rules, the same, I don't know, discipline, same pretty much everything. And anybody that's a parent and has more than one kid knows that your kids can be very different from each other. My oldest daughter, my youngest son, were very mellow kids, very easy. Very little discipline because we just didn't have to. They pretty much did what they were told. My youngest son would ask for everything. Everything he wanted to do, he would ask. And my youngest daughter, who's 26, and my oldest son, who's 29, they were Spitfires. I love them just as much, but they were Spitfires. And so the point is, they're all adults now. They're all out on their own now. And they're doing very different things, pursuing different dreams, different lives. And those 4 kids were all raised in the same house with the same parents, and they have different outcomes. Yet we expect in our society, or some people expect, I don't expect it because I'm a realist. I understand that everything doesn't work the way we think it should work. Like I said, I'm all for equality. Equity is another story. You cannot have the same outcome for every person on this planet or in this country. Not everybody wants to work for what they want to get. Some work their asses off, some work a little, some work a lot. As far as I'm concerned, I work my ass off. Like I said, I don't need to go through that again. But the point is, we don't get the same outcomes, even in our own families. So to think that we're going to have the same outcomes across the country is impossible. That being said, like I said earlier, nobody should be discriminated against. Nobody should be... I know there are people that have a tougher time with this. I understand. I'm not a naive person. I get that some people are born into situations where it's really tough to get ahead, and you got to work harder than other people. I don't pretend to know what it's like to be in somebody else's shoes. I can only talk about my shoes and what I've done. And I want the best for everybody, but I also feel like everybody should go earn what they get. And maybe I get some hate for that. That's okay. I'm a big boy. I can take it. But I think a lot of people agree with me that you go after what you want, you work for it. My youngest daughter and my wife have really gotten into this kind of putting into the universe, into the world, what you want. And I've been working really hard at that. I've been working really hard at a positive attitude and putting positive stuff out there. By the way, if you like this channel, this video, give me a thumbs up and subscription down below. If you don't, that's cool too. You know, do you. It's all good. So yeah, I'd love to hear your comments and what you think. And it's always cool seeing feedback. Like I said, this channel was set up as a trying to put positive vibes into the universe. I'm a big believer in that. And I know when I get down on myself, which doesn't happen a lot, but every once in a while it does, and it just makes life tougher. If I can turn it around, even with a simple smile, or somebody smiles at me or says, "Hey, how you doing?" It can really change somebody's day. So I think if enough of us do that, and we really, excuse me, try to put the good into the universe, it will give us good back. So anyway, I wanted to do a real quick shout out. So there's this, let me pull it up on my laptop here. There's this guy that my youngest son, Cooper, who's 23, turned me on to. And I really dig this guy's vibe. Dry Creek Wrangler School. And I don't know his name. He's about my age. He's a few years younger than me. But he's a rancher that sits out on his farm around his fire, smoking his stogie, and kind of doles out ranch wisdom. And it's pretty cool. And I dig the guy. I wish I knew his name, but I don't remember his name. But kind of inspired me. Even though I've been doing this myself for a couple of years, I just discovered this guy a couple months ago, and I dig his vibe. Dry Creek Wrangler School. If you get a chance to watch him, he's pretty cool. He seems like a good dude and with some solid advice. So I'm trying to emulate that type of thing a little bit, put some good out there. So if you dig it, you dig it. If you don't, that's cool too. So anyway, that's it for now. There'll be lots of videos coming. I'm going to do, like I said, kind of a side thing on this channel. I'm thinking about calling it Small Town Confidential. Growing up in a little town in the prairies of Canada, which I think is quite similar to if you grew up in a little town in the Midwest in the US, or Montana or Idaho or wherever. It's very similar. We rode our bikes everywhere. We had freedom. It's not like this was in the 30s. It was in the 70s, basically. I was born in 63, and I graduated high school in 81. So basically between 69 and 81, I was in this little town in Canada, and it was freaking fantastic. I'm trying not to swear a lot in this. Every once in a while it comes out. Forgive me if I throw something out there. It's not meant to offend anybody. I don't rely on swearing as some crutch. But every once in a while, it'll come out. Forgive me if that happens. I don't think I did that this video. So anyway, I hope everybody has a fantastic week. I hope you pursue your dreams. I hope you get to your dreams. And I'd love to hear your comments and feedback. And if I can be a little bit of positivity in somebody's life, fantastic. I appreciate y'all. Peace, love.